The loyal cat that keeps you company at breakfast. The faithful dog that never leaves your side during evening walks. The colorful parrot singing in its cage. They're all part of your family. You trust them, you love them, and they love you back, right? But what if I told you the people in today's story thought the exact same thing until their very last breath? This is a true story. An innocent adoption, a happy beginning, and a horrific end. Today you'll learn that sometimes the greatest danger lives inside your own home. Our first story takes us back to 2018 to Grand Rapids, Michigan. 29-year-old Jason Wilson was living perhaps the happiest days of his life. Jason, a tall and strong man, worked as a foreman at a local construction company. Neighbors described him as always smiling, always helpful. Just 6 months earlier, he had married his college sweetheart, Sarah Martinez. The couple had bought a small white fenced house just outside the city center. Sarah, 27, was a cheerful elementary school teacher. Her love for children touched everyone around her. But Sarah had one dream: owning a dog. Growing up in an apartment, she was never allowed to have one. She used to say, "The first thing I'll do when I grow up is get a dog." Jason wanted to make that dream come true. In early October, Jason came up with the perfect idea. Sarah's birthday was approaching, and Jason thought he had found the perfect gift. He contacted the local animal shelter, Happy Paws. At the shelter, volunteer Mary Thompson greeted Jason. He explained he was looking for a family-friendly dog, safe for kids they might have one day. Mary introduced him to Duke, a 3-year-old pit bull German shepherd mix, muscular and striking with brown and black fur. Duke sat quietly in his kennel. Jason was immediately taken by the dog. When Duke was let out, he licked Jason's hand and wagged his tail. He seemed perfect. The paperwork went quickly. Duke's vaccines were complete, his health report was clean. Jason donated $150 and took Duke home. When Sarah came home and saw Duke sitting with Jason in the living room, she burst into tears. The dog already felt like part of the family. For the first 2 weeks, it was like a fairy tale. Duke adapted quickly. He greeted Sarah and Jason every morning, slept by their feet every night. He waited for Sarah by the door when she came home from work. He was intelligent too. Within days, Duke mastered commands like sit, down, and stay. Even the neighbors loved him. But there were small, almost unnoticeable signs. Sometimes when Jason approached, Duke would perk his ears. While always soft with Sarah, he was a little more distant with Jason. Jason brushed it off as male dominance. At night, Duke sometimes growled softly for no reason. Without pointing toward any sound, they thought it was just part of adjusting to his new home. Mealtimes were also tricky. Duke didn't like anyone near his bowl, staring with warning eyes if someone approached. The first real warning came in week 3. Jason's brother Michael visited. When he tried to pet Duke, the dog stiffened and growled, baring his teeth. "He just needs time," Sarah insisted. "He's afraid of strangers." But Jason couldn't shake the image of Duke's eyes that night. They weren't the eyes of the dog he thought he knew. Saturday, November 3rd. Sarah was late getting home. Parent-teacher meetings had run long. She arrived around 10:30 p.m. Jason was watching TV in the living room. Duke lay at his feet. The show, a wildlife documentary on National Geographic. Ironic in hindsight. When Sarah walked in, she called out cheerfully, "Honey, I'm home." A normal evening, a normal couple, a normal dog, or so it seemed. As Sarah entered the room, Duke suddenly sprang up. His ears shot forward, his tail stiffened. But this time, something was different. His body language was tense, more than ever before. Jason noticed immediately. "Duke, easy," he said. But when he looked into Duke's eyes, he froze. They weren't the dog's eyes anymore. They were a predator's, primitive, wild, deadly. "Sarah, stop!" Jason shouted, just as Duke lunged. 75 pounds of muscle slammed into Jason's chest. He toppled backward, hitting the floor. Duke's jaws clamped onto his throat. Sarah's screams echoed across the neighborhood. But nothing could stop Duke now. It was as if he was in a trance, his jaws locked around Jason's neck and he wouldn't let go. Sarah grabbed a broom from the kitchen and struck the dog. It made no difference. Duke only grew more violent. Finally, he released Jason and turned on Sarah. Neighbors had already called 911. But by the time police arrived, the horror had escalated. Duke bit Sarah's leg as she tried to flee into the kitchen. "Call animal control." "Weapons ready," Rodriguez ordered. When they entered, even the veteran officers were stunned. The living room looked like a war zone. Blood spattered the floor and walls. Furniture was overturned. Jason lay unresponsive. Sarah cowered behind the kitchen counter. Duke still raged, snarling at the officers. Rodriguez fired a warning shot. Duke hesitated but then prepared to charge. After a second warning shot failed, Duke lunged at them. Rodriguez pulled the trigger. Duke collapsed. Jason was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. He died from massive blood loss en route. Sarah survived, though badly injured. What investigators uncovered next shocked everyone. Veterinarian Dr. Patricia Williams examined Duke's body. The findings? Disturbing. No tumors, no infections, no brain abnormalities. Duke was physically healthy. The real horror came from Happy Paws records. Investigative journalist Karen Mills dug into Duke's history and uncovered a devastating truth. Duke had lived with 3 families before Jason and Sarah. The first returned him at age 1. Reason: attacked our child. The second gave him back after 3 weeks. Reason: uncontrollable aggression. The third kept him a year but eventually filed a police report. Duke had seriously injured their 5-year-old child. All of this was in his file, but Mary Thompson had never told Jason. Worse, Duke's blood tests revealed elevated testosterone and stress hormones. The dog was constantly in a heightened, aggressive state. In court, Mary admitted, "I just wanted Duke to be adopted." The shelter was overcrowded. He had been here a long time. Jason Wilson's family filed a $2 million lawsuit against Happy Paws. The case is still ongoing. If you're into secret events that haven't made it into mainstream media, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the video, support me by giving it a like and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Take good care of yourself, my friend.